quite a sizable pride by the sound of things. Sounds like there's at least 7 individuals there. They don't see the youngsters yet, so it's 7 adults, so there can be youngsters around as well, so it can be a double figure pride at the end of the day, but we'll see once we get there. At this point in time, I'm sure all of you have noticed it's not the easiest thing to walk lions. They're very difficult to locate, especially when they're lying down sleeping. By the time we get into Prideland side, it should hopefully be warming up a bit as well, so hopefully not too much movement from them. Usually quite good times to attempt to walk lions. Yeah. Let's go have a look. Yeah, as always, an extremely long distance that we've covered. Apologize for the excessive walking during the excursion. Yeah, but it's not something that I think we've necessarily spent some time with yet. Who do we have over here? Got one going for rhino. Anybody want to agree or disagree?
Go for rhino too.
Why are you guys so scared to give an answer?
Because we do have the Ellie, so...
What are some of the big differences between Ellie and rhino? Matt, do me a favor actually. Grab me the ball at the back there. On the pathway. Along the pathway, yes, about 15 meters, bring me one of the balls there.
This is a white rhino. Difference. And,
No, I specifically don't want to break it. It's a little ecosystem, so please don't necessarily break them. They doing studies and things, but yeah, there's currently the loose figure of about 10,000 arthropods in a either pile of rhino dung or elephant dung at any given time. So it is a full little ecosystem in its own. So as much as possible, don't try and disturb it too much. We're going to go past that little spot. I'm going to give this back to Matt because he knows where he picked it up, and we're actually going to be replacing this exactly where we found him. We can actually see a bit of soil on this one as well. So had some termite activity, already starting breaking down some of the materials in the dung. So yeah, we'll definitely go and put him back exactly where we found. But one of the closest or clearest differences between the two is coloration. Yeah? If we look at this very, very rich reddish brown coloration that we've got on the elephant dung versus the very, very dark, almost black in color that you'll find with the white rhino. Now that gets created by a lot of tannin that will be involved in the elephant dung specifically. A lot of the trees and the things that they prefer eating, your Facilias, Senegalias, sicklebush, all those kind of things, you're going to find a tremendous amount of tannin, and the tannin creates this reddish coloration in the elephant dung. Where with your white rhino, as Sibyl said correctly, they're only grazers, they only eat grass, so they don't have that high tannin content, and don't actually have any tannin content inside their digestive system. So you're going to be lacking that nice rich reddish coloration, creating this much more black. And as it gets older, we can see quite a lot of it lying around here. So it is a midden system. I don't see a lot of kicking open side of things. I know it does look like a lot of it has been kicked open, but if you're dealing with a territorial male, you'll have firstly a much bigger heap altogether, and you'll actually see those skid marks of the back feet dragging through the dung as well. When it gets opened up like this, this is more than likely going to be things like your guinea fowl, your Franklin spurfowls, because they come and scratch around, typically like you'll see chickens and things doing on a normal farmland as well, and they're scratching around and digging around looking for all the little seeds and sometimes even some insect material depending on the time of the year. When it gets to winter months like we are now, they do consume quite a bit of ticks as well to supplement their diet. It's why there's also the loose theory that you shouldn't eat the ground fowl just any time of the year. General rule of thumb, you don't eat any of those bird species in months that does not have an R in it. So May, June, July, August, which is the winter months in our country. Of course, yeah, there's a big chance that they do have quite a lot of parasites in their system that can be quite harmful to us as humans. So better to stay away from them during the winter months. Because yeah, then they do start supplementing their diet with some funky things. Rest of the year they prefer grass seeds and things, they're granivores, then tends to be a much safer option to go for. Then also definitely, as Sebo mentioned, dealing with only grass material with what we can see here, and then definitely quite a few harder, more rough herbaceous branch sections and so on that you're going to find within the elephant dung. Also varies quite a bit from time of the year. Elephants during summer will consume a lot more grass than what they would do the woody species. The more grass they can eat, the longer the teeth will last. We've spoken about the dental structure of the elephants and the grinding down on the molars. Now, grass obviously being a very, very soft vegetation to eat, so the impact that it's got on the dental structure is much less. And there also tends to be a lot of nutrients inside grasses. So in summertime, when it's nice and green and lush out there, they'll spend a lot of time on these open plain sections feeding on the grass rather than feeding on the hard branches and things of the trees, just to assist in that dental structure of theirs a bit more. So in summer you will find a bit more of a grass content, but yeah, this time of the year definitely not surprised that we have this much hard structures in there as well. And we can also see a bit of what we discussed yesterday or the day before when we were looking at the lecture, difference of the black rhino and the elephant. Very, very fibrous, very, very coarse on the edges of where they bite off because of that grinding motion of the molars, not having that nice 45-degree cut that you're going to find with your black rhinos. So yeah, white rhino. Yeah, some swines and spurfowls with little babies, but they're hiding behind the grasses now. Yeah, we'll keep an ear out, maybe we hear him again. So what would you guys think this is?
It's like cotton to me.
Looks like cotton. So going for something like wild cotton will be quite a good bet to go for, of course. That's exactly what it is, wild cotton. Now when it comes to, and you can more than welcome to pass around and have a bit of a feel. It does have quite a hard seed on the inside, but the whole entire covering being very, very soft and fluffy. So a big favorite of birds when it comes to their nesting sites. They love collecting this cotton. They'll actually dig out that little seed, because that's just a hard little bump there that's going to be an annoyance, but then they like to line the entire nest with some of this cotton. It's a nice little soft bedding for the eggs. It's also very easy to move around and to push into different shapes and things as such, creating a extra bit of a support in especially flat cup shaped nests where there's always the possibility of eggs rolling out, creating little ridges around it, a nice little pocket, almost a little egg holder for them to utilize. Us as humans, a lot of guides will have some of this wild cotton in their backpacks. We've spoken a couple of times about some bush survival techniques and those kind of things. Absolutely brilliant thing to have as a fire starter. It's so fine and dry that it does take light extremely quickly. So if you've got a flint with you, or even if you get the correct geographical features of some of those rocks that will actually spark against each other if you're hitting, it can create and ignite a fire. But anything from a nice strong stargazing laser can put that to light, magnifying glass, flint system, so definitely something that we usually have in our backpacks as a bit of a fire starter if you are quite frequently find yourself on wilderness trails and things and need to make fires. So definitely a nice little usage on our side to operate. We can see there's definitely webbing involved, so we're definitely dealing with a spider of sorts. Funnel web, you'll find more of a net cast on the outside as well, and then at the tip of it actually funneling in on the web itself. When you have something like this, it's created such a solid hole, and you can see that webbing really covering the inside of that entire tube. This is typical of your baboon spiders. So our big hairy scaries, our versions of the tarantulas as such, there's going to be a nice baboon spider in there, whether it's the golden brown or the horned, up for debate. It's very difficult to determine which species by just looking at the burrow system, but that's definitely a baboon spider nest over there. They can only make one at a very, very young age. They've got very special type mouth parts to actually eat away the swell to create this tunnel, and after a certain age they lose those mouth parts and they can't create a new hole. So if they do lose their burrow, they become completely ground dwelling, living under rocks and branches and things. They don't actually, well, firstly they can't create a new one, and secondly they won't use another one as well. To the extent where some biologists have actually tried and tested it, where they've made a mold of a baboon spider burrow, and within a meter of the actual burrow they've made the exact same replica of that baboon spider's nest, and that baboon spider will refuse to go into that hole. Now, especially with something like the horned baboon spider, they are endangered species, and if, especially in the Lowveld, if you want to do a construction of any sort, whether you're at a lodge and you want to add extra rooms, whatever the case is. They're currently busy with big construction here in Hoedspruit, next to the Pick and Pay Centrum, to create another shopping centre. But whenever you want to do those kind of things in this area, you have to get the conservation department. If they find a horned baboon spider nest, they usually hold construction completely, and they're not allowed to build on that place. So many construction projects has been stopped because of just one of those. Seeing that they've really gone through a lot of effort to try and determine whether you can replicate it, can we move them, can we relocate them, but it's impossible. They just don't go in, and as soon as they're ground dwelling, they are a lot more vulnerable to their predators. Not too sure if somebody's wondering or not, but just to, hey, another baboon spider hole. It's a more sizable one. Nice. Seems like there's a lot of baboon spider activity in this area. Nice. Don't know if any of you noticed this last little section I walked into ready position. Matt just asked me, am I walking slower because of area and possibility of with tall grass things hiding and things. Then I said no. And then all of a sudden I went into ready position, which kind of can go directly against what I just told you guys. Why do you guys think I went into ready position?
You went through a little dip.
But still enough that I was able to see. Matt, Matt under the impression he's got a big influence on my comfort zones. No, actually had nothing to do with safety of the immediate area. Don't unnecessarily want to clog my entire bolt system through grass seeds coming off the grass. So if you move through the long grass, you actually want to keep your rifle out of the grass so that you don't drag it through grass seeds and things. It's those little grass seeds and things that ends up in these little crevices. When you want to utilize your bolt, more of a possibility of jams and things being created. So keep it out of vegetation. So it's much more for the purpose of my rifle than actually the area itself.
Asking about the baboon spider, I wanted to know what's mainly their prey.
Anything that they can overpower. Anything that they can overpower. From other insects, other spiders, small rodents with little shrews and those kind of things. Anything that they can overpower, they will go for. Yeah. Now if they can take it, they will eat it.
Lion.
One going for lion.
Yeah.
Anybody want to agree or disagree?
But it was smaller. It's smaller and it's not that sharp. Maybe that's it.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's what
Really
makes,
hairy, that's why I would go for lion.
maybe a
Smaller
baby
lion.
cub lion.
Definitely not a cub, but can be a sub-adult, I'll say.
Didn't you say the other day that usually the leopard has more hair?
I tend to find more hair in leopard, but by the sound of things, you guys said something
I think Jason
different. Went to the opposite. Can also honestly be areas of operation. If we take Eastern Cape especially, there it's quite a well-known fact that the main prey species of your leopard tends to be your hare families. Spring hares, scrub hares, those kind of things. Quite an easy meal to operate with, and there's not a lot of big trees in the Eastern Cape with most of your reserve. So most of their prey they do need to eat on the ground. So it can also be a situation of their food preferences in certain areas. In my career, I've been a lot more used to more hare in leopard dung or scat, but at the same time, also up here, you're going to find your leopards much more prone to your duikers, steenbok, impala, those kind of things, and not necessarily fussing around with the little scrubbies and things, because they do have the usage of big trees to relieve the stress of having a bigger kill. So it might be why it's a bit of opposite way around. Yeah, this one quantity-wise exceeds the amount that I'm used to with leopards. So definitely in that regard, I'm happy with you guys all wanting to go for lion, because the overall quantity is definitely a bit too much for me for a single sitting of a leopard. It's not as nice and fat and thick as you find a lot of times with the lion, and why I do think looking at something like a sub-adult can be a good way to go.
Is it quite common to see that like twisting?
That twisting, very, very, very common.
Leopard as well?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
so big cat.
Yeah, big cats tend to have the very twisty, where with your Canadays, Anahinadeys, you tend to find it still gives the overall scat gives this appearance of a twist, but if you look at it closely, it's more these individual balls kind of situated next to each other, and not this uniform little twist shape that goes all the way through the scat. If we didn't have all of the surrounding bits and pieces, I would have been very, very happy going for leopard. So if we didn't have that one, this one over here, just that little clump there in the middle, then I would have been a bit more happy with the leopard. Right there. And to take us to a little section in front with all of the leadwoods and the things, and we'll take a quick little pause there for anybody that needs to get water out of their bags or a sip of water, whatever the case is. So yeah, just going to go a couple more meters and we'll take a quick little breather.
Curious. All this stuff.
It's the lower jaw.
Lower jaw? Or? Ellis.
No, it's the upper jaw, isn't it? No,
Sorry. Hey, pelvic bone section, yeah, which basically includes your two hip bones. So all of the, the answers given of pelvic was all the way through to hip. Correct question is of what?
Big.
It's quite big.
Buffalo. I'm guessing.
So would this part come up like that and this down? Or
I think it's
the other way around. If you look this.
That would be a muscle too.
I'm gonna go with elephant.
buffalo?
I think it's more.
It's more.
It can be young.
Gotta go with buffalo or
Okay, and I'm happy with my guess, I must say. Found what I was looking for. You guys had me doubting there with all your opinions, but I'm happy with what I think it is. Because the thing was, the hip bones was too slender for me for buffalo. Buffalo was not a bad call on the size, but I was worried about the narrowness of that hip. Yeah, the nice giveaway is on this side here. Yeah, as well. We've got a, well, to begin with, just on the bone structure wise, but yeah, especially if we start looking here towards the actual vertebra. I mean, that's big vertebra. Our rib bones are excessively long in size, but our neck vertebra, that for me was the nice giveaway. Giraffe. What I must say, guys, had me doubting there. Because buffalo was not a bad call, but yeah, that narrow hip bothered me a bit. But that's a thing, and a nice little reminder of what we've said quite a few times: when you're busy with tracks and signs, then get soaked up into one piece of evidence. Eh? It didn't take us long when we started venturing around to obviously get the main scene actually that we're dealing with, which gave us more than enough evidence to actually quite happily and concretely determine who we've got going there. Eh?
Missing the head.
Indeed. The head is usually one of the last things that they tend to run off with, because it's quite a heavy situation. But it does appear, unless it's now a typical guide situation of yeah, having a zebra skull in their room now. It's also never impossible. Not excessively hot day yet, is a nice breeze. It's actually at this point in time still very nice conditions for lions to attempt hunts and things as well. So it honestly can go either way on how active they're going to be or not. But I do still want to, for the time being, keep my focus on seeing if we can't get the kitty cats.
North is also Tajani, right? So they could...
If they continue moving, then north is Tajani. But the thing is, we're luckily about halfway between the two boundaries, and they were almost right in the corner against the fence this morning. So for them to get to Tajani, they need to get past us. And so, yeah. Let's see.
Nothing will pass us.
Let's see. Okay. Just gonna let that vehicle move past, and as soon as the vehicle is past us, then we'll continue. Some rattling testicula somewhere. Oh, there he is on the dry little branch. Okay. Everybody happy with Tambooti? That's a tree. Right. Especially this time of the year, nice and easy with the very pretty orange red colored leaves mixing with the green, and then that typical crocodile skin bark that we always keep on mentioning. Hey, great firewood.
No.
Always nice to use. No?
Yeah.
Really?
You can try.
I mean,
on your
you
own.
can do it.
Why
but
not?
We will talk then tomorrow again. Maybe.
After you spend the night on the toilet.
The smoke does all the poisons. You don't want any of that smoke pulling into anything that you are brying, but it's also the problem. Smoke needs to go somewhere, and even just us inhaling the smoke is poisonous. So definitely something to rather not mess around with. In areas where Tambooti grow, there's usually in any case so many trees that's very, very good for firewood that you never should really get yourself in a situation where that's your only resort. There's usually a lot of knobthorn in similar areas and things as well that you're dealing with. Dead leadwoods, but always must be careful with leadwoods. You're not actually allowed to mess around with leadwoods. They are on the red list species. If somebody catch you burning leadwood, they can actually prosecute you. It is illegal to do anything with leadwood whatsoever. But yeah, Tambooti, rather stay away from. A lot of times we get ring barking very low at the base of Tambootis, and that tends to be your porcupine, usually nibbing off the bark all the way around. Porcupine system very, very adapted to eating poisonous plants. It's how they avoid competition from other nibbling animals, annoying animals, being a rodent. So yeah, they do tend to specialize in poisonous things.
Is it also the black rhino for digestion sometimes?
Yeah, black rhino a lot of times as well. Black rhinos are funny things. They eat a lot of things that they're not supposed to. Euphorbia being a very good example of it as well. Tremendous amount of latex in it. Euphorbia actually being excessively toxic for most animals. It does put them on a trip, but it does seem like black rhinos sometimes just like to put themselves on a bit of a trip, run around in circles and things. They go completely bonkers after they've eaten some euphorbia. The theory is that it does tend to help with the digestive system, but there's also the feeling out there from a lot of guides that sometimes they just doing it for their for their own enjoyment pleasures, because yeah, it does seem like they're having an extremely good time when they're tripping a bit on euphorbia juices. So yeah, black rhino is very, very well known to also do target some poisonous trees. You guys see anything? Some giraffe tracks there on the mat's feet, yeah?
Oh yeah.
You guys notice anything as we came through the dip?
You put your
Yeah, but more natural wise. Did you guys notice anything naturally speaking when you came through the dip? You guys see the rubbing post?
Yes.
Eh? Nice. And the stump over here, very, very nice and smooth already on the edges. Having gone past the rubbing post, made me keep a bit of a closer eye, and also it's allowed me to see side toe. Rhino walking in the same direction as what we are, so another one basically in front of the shoulders of Matt as well. That post has been used quite a bit, but it's not excessive yet. Sometimes those posts goes completely rounded and smooth as they keep on rubbing on it. So it's not the oldest rubbing post that I've seen, but yeah, definitely on a leadwood stump like that, having that effect already. I have been using it for some time. Yeah, definitely one of their little pathways moving through here, but then definitely a nice confirmation that it's them with their tracks running here. If you don't see it, don't go for genet, but if you've got really, really nice substrate, then I think my genet always reach me. There we go. The genet, if you've got very nice substrate, you actually get to see that little V shape that's in the back pad. There we can see the V line, this one as well showing there, you can see that little V shape, but for that you do need nice soft powdery soil, then you're going to get that nice V. But overall quite a rounded track, very big intermediate pad, nice rounded toes, very evenly spaced, direct registers. It's a typical thing of your genets. They love direct registering, walking with their back feet on top of the front feet, but yeah, especially having that V in this nice soft powdery substrate, that's a very lucky giveaway.
So this was a normal walking gait?
This is normal walking gait, yeah.
They would run, then the bag would get in front of this.
100%, 100%.
Okay. Would they go for termites?
They'll definitely go for termites. They usually like something a bit more meaty and chunky. But I mean, if area doesn't supply any insectivorous animal, by default we'll definitely go for termites if there's a lack of the usual food source, because it's such a nice protein source that they go for. But they do have the tendency to like something that they can really sink their teeth into. But you see it with birds of prey, with most of the insectivorous animals, if there's not a lot of food around, or especially when the alates comes out, everybody goes for termites, because it's such a nice, easy to gain food source and very, very high protein content. So we'll definitely do, but it's not what they specifically go after, because they don't really have the tools for opening up a termite mound. So they need alates coming out, or they need the more ground working termites that's just above the soil. Luckily most of your termites are a bit more active at night time, so you do have more activity of them. But yeah, they're not going to go and dig into a mound like you're going to find with pangolin and aardvark and so on. Nice and easy scientific name at least as well. Scientific names can always be a difficult one to get past if you don't understand Latin like myself. What do you guys think a genet scientific name is? Geneta geneta. Geneta geneta. Very similar to caracal as well. Caracal caracal. Extremely difficult. Hey, hey, little genets. Opinions? I never think it. I want to know what people's first instincts are.
Not a cat.
Not a cat, good instinct. Kudu. Kudu. Alright. If we're considering kudu, if we think about those tracks we had last time when we were looking at kudu, we had, let me just make ourselves a little nice open canvas here. We have that widest edge towards the middle. Where did that ridge run through? Straight through the middle, everybody agree? And quite a nice straight line. Is that something we see here?
No,
it's going from one corner, if you can see a corner on an oval obviously, to other side of a little S shape, which will lead us to, we looked at it earlier, side toe of a rhino. Hey, sometimes you only have one or two toes to work with. It's something that you get a bit more proficient in the more you get involved in anti-poaching situations and things, and needing to track these animals to assist in security teams and so on. In track and sign assessments, they do ask partial rhino tracks quite a lot, because they do expect that any guide with their salt should be able to identify a rhino track by having just a partial track, but having that little squiggly yin-yang S going through, nice oval shape. It does resemble kudu quite a lot in its overall shape. Majority of the time when we just have a side toe, people do have the tendency to go for kudu tracks. It's one of the main ones that they do confuse it with, but if we also look at where that is, look at the flattened section that we've got here. Look how this, well, I've poked him as well a bit unfortunately, but look how that piece of grass has been pushed into the ground. Look how flattened it is up here, rounded section. This is where the front toe actually made pressure, so that's the left and right hand side of the track, the other toe not making an imprint. We can see the swell as well here. Look how that got flattened there underneath the grasses. So rhino track came down goop right here, and why we don't have the rest of it on the opposite side of the road. But yeah, definitely rhino toe. Matt early on with the baboon spider, his first consideration was the funnel web spider, which we now have a nice example of the funnel web spider, where you're going to see this much more of a sheet of webbing all the way around, with that funnel being created in the webbing going into the actual hole where the spider is going to be hiding. So just wanted to see that we finally see one. Use the opportunity for everybody to visually see what a funnel web spider will be looking like. Now you get one that resembles the funnel web spider quite a lot as well, with the exception of not having that funnel going down, and it will just be a solid sheet of web, also hence the name sheet web spider. Web just creating a solid sheet at the end of the day.
Sheet web?
Yes, S-H-E-E-T, not S-H-I-T. Back foot of the female still more elongated than what you're going to find with the male, but yeah, having these extremely elongated toes we got here, that's very, very oval shaped toes. So yeah, no, definitely much more sold on lioness than on leopard there. That's a very, very elongated track. walking with purpose. Yeah, front is over on this side and then back, so back foot is extending the front foot, not to an extent that I'll say she's trotting or jogging, but she's walking with purpose. She's definitely not on a evening stroll. Very nice one over here for her as well. A bit more nicer substrate that we're dealing with. And yeah, I think this might be that lioness that we continuously getting reports of operating around on her own. Yeah, that smaller lioness walks around on her own. Do know they had her on the fence line yesterday, last night, yeah. So I think she came along the fence on the southern side and then got up on to the cut line. Don't think it's the ones we're looking for. We would have had more trucks operating around if it was the ones we're looking for. Rhinos cut in as well. Still continuously seeing tracks of this rhino as well. Who knows? Wind will be in our favor because we're also coming from the northern side, so some point in time either I'm hoping to walk over their tracks and we can see where they've went. The other possibility with what we're doing now is walking into them. More than likely in a situation like that we're going to hear them before we see them. Golden rule of line encounters:
Don't run.
never run, you stand still. No matter if they come running at us. Yeah, it's really anybody's guess, so I'm just going to be taking a relatively straight line south in here until we either get some tracks or get some lines. See what comes first. So I'm going to be doing a bit of zigzag along the road just to try and pick up on the tracks for if they has moved past. For as long as we don't see tracks, higher potential of us still being able to get a sighting of them today. Yeah. It's definitely nice and fresh. Very nice and fresh. Also obviously multiple individuals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least. It's come through, so I do think it's the group we're looking for. We're not going to venture excessively far in. Obviously we're on the boundary here. We need to try and keep close enough that we can at least say we were making our way out. Yeah? But yeah, maybe they've just crossed in and laid down, so let's see. Hoping that some of those big trees they might have actually gone and stopped it. You good? Okay, now go that side. In front of that hole. Water comes out there, it takes it out. Lost them just back here. I think this aerial trail that we can see in the grasses here to the front right. I think that's them. I want to see if we can't pick up on the pathway in the front here. Morning, Matt. How's it going? Good, my man, good. I'm following up on these Ngala and Konza that was here in Pridelands, but they've crossed over into the Boston side and just want to get permission to continue with the trail, seeing that it's outside of game drive time. Okay, there's more on the left as well. Most probably going to move to the rest of the group if I've got to take a guess. I'm just going to let us stay exactly where we are for now. They've now already obviously moved a bit away from us. They're standing viewing us, so we'll see what their behavior and things are. There's some now at the back there. They turn. Looks like they want to come there. The rest of them starts coming out as well. Obviously we would have walked past them on the right hand side, the wind pushing directly towards them, so if they really wanted to, they could have actually snuck off without us even knowing about them. It's also why we, when we got to the road, started coming this way. We did start losing the tracks through there, and then we do what we refer to as closing the gates, wanting to ensure that you don't miss where they've moved. So the whole idea was to come along to make sure they've not crossed the road yet, which then clearly and obviously they've not done yet. Okay, I'm not going to unnecessarily push them or push our luck. I do want to see if I can create you guys to get a nicer view, but yeah, with them, I've already mentioned to you guys, if animals purposely move away from me, I don't necessarily bother them and things. I'm going to let us move at a bit of an angle. They now know of us. I'm not going to try and hide us, rather let them have our scent and things, but I just want to drift off on the side to see if there's a gap where we can get the nicer view. If not, we're just going to leave them in peace and then head on. There's no point in us continuously pushing behind them and putting them uncomfortable. Everybody at least got to see them, even though brief. Hey, finally got our lions. Hey. Did the animals change their behavior towards us? Did we need to change our behavior because of them? Are we within 200 meters of them? Valid encounter. Guaranteed. Now, you guys have got your first lion in the box. Yeah.
Like how far would you say?
Closest was the ones that came out on the left hand side here. I would gauge that about 120 to 150, I'd say. You still see one of them? where a big group does have an advantage. I mean, we basically max numbers with today's group, but then you do have numbers on your side as well. So you do become a bit more of a formidable force. So then a lot of times you don't necessarily have that type of aggression from them, because we're almost even numbers between us and them. I think they're too short of what we are, and in that a bit more reluctant to want to be too aggressive, which is nice. Worked out well. Yeah, but we did bother their dino slightly. Big hole behind me. We did interfere with their dino, but not too much. They didn't run off to the next farms or anything. So if everybody is happy, I would like us to move our way out of the sighting then. They've allowed us a nice opportunity. We're safe where we are, but also before we have too much of an interference on their day. We were successful, so let's not unnecessarily push our luck. Yeah. Everybody happy?
I think you are our lucky charm.
Hey, everybody good? I want you guys to follow Diana out. Leopold, you can also actually get behind Diana. Follow her out of the tree, just keep with the road. I'll come to the front when necessary, Diana. If you enjoyed this virtual safari and would like to see more episodes, please comment below. Like and subscribe to our channel for more great content.